Hi everyone, welcome to another session on Tech Talk by Samuel. And in this session, we're going to talk about EC2 storage volumes. Storage drives, generally described as volumes in AWS. They're for the most part, they are a virtualized storage space and they come out of a large physical drive. Though they kind of appear as if they are directly attached to the EC2 instance that we are using, but literally they are actually sitting in a totally different, huge virtualized storage space somewhere in the data center. They're not directly attached, and they're called as elastic block storage volume, in short EBS. Well, in EBS we have many types. That's what we're going to discuss in some time. So I have an EC2 instance. How many elastic block store EBS volumes can I attach to my instance? Well, you can attach as many elastic block store volumes you want. But remember one thing, no more than a single instance can have access to EBS, meaning one volume can be attached to just one EC2 instance. One volume cannot be attached to two EC2 instances. There's a separate product for that. And we can use them just as once attached, right? We can use them just as we would an hard drive, we would a flash drive, we would an USB drive that's connected to our physical server. And these EBS volumes, right? Amazon promises a 99.99% availability for those EBS volumes that we use, which means that the data that we store in those EBS volumes are safe, and the EBS volume system itself will not break 99.99% of the time. And currently, this EBS volume, it comes in two types. One is SSD type and the other one is through older spinning hard drives. And the performance of EBS volume is generally measured in IOPS, meaning input output per second per volume, input output operations per second. All right, let's talk about EBS provision IOPS, the one right here. Just like the name says, it gives the dominant feature of this drive is its IOPS. And as I toggle here, you'll be able to see that for an 8 gigabit storage, I get 400 input output operations per second. That's for provision IOPS version 1. And for the same size, for provision IOPS version 2, I get 8,000 input output operations per second. So depending on our need for the IOPS, we can choose version 1 or version 2. Then in the list is general purpose SSD. Well, general purpose, they're good for regular server workloads, and they ideally provide low latency performance. All right, as I toggle, you see general purpose SSD EBS volume, I get 3000 input output per second. A general use case of this is this generally gets attached or used as an boot volume for our Linux and Windows machines. Then we have throughput optimized, and this is good for, just like the name says, this is good for throughput intensive workloads. And the size of the first volume, it should be 125 gigabit. The least is 125 gigabit. And it comes with 500 IOPS per volume. Remember, the dominant feature of this is throughput. So it comes with 500 Mbps of maximum throughput per volume. So that's the data transfer speed. The highest data transfer speed that we can attain in this volume is 500 megabits per second. That's the maximum throughput per volume. And this is an throughput optimized hard disk drive. Then we have cold hard disk drive. And this is the cheapest of all. When we are working with a large volume of data that requires only infrequent access, we can choose cold hard disk drive. And the input output per second we get per volume for cold hard disk drive is 250 IOPS per volume. All right, I think I was able to help you understand the different volumes, EBS, elastic block stored volumes available in AWS when launching an EC2 instance and its use case. I believe you found this video useful. I want to thank you for the time you've taken watching this video. I will meet you again in another Tech Talk series like this. Till then, goodbye, and you have a great day ahead. Bye for now.